welcome to Timeless with Julie Hartman Live. It is Tuesday, June 4th, 2024. I'm Julie Hartman. It's great, as always, to be with you. This is live right now on YouTube. We are live Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays here on the Julie Hartman YouTube channel at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. You can call into the show if you care to chat with me. 844-861-5537 is the call-in number, 844-861-5537. And as always, you can use the live chat, which I have a direct line to. You can't see it, those of you watching, but off camera, I have a line to the chat. And I love seeing what you all write. So thank you so much for your robust commentary. And you know the rule, just keep it classy. We already have someone. Hello to you, QC Maverick, and hello to Sean McConnell, who's always with us. Hello, Sean Z.
Hello, Jules.
Good to be with you.
Hi.
Boy, do we have an important episode today. We're going to
We do?
I know, it's shocking, right? Sometimes on the show we have those, occasionally. We're going to be talking about this thing today. And if I could reach over and grab my computer, I'd hold up my computer too. We're going to be talking about technology and the vast role, and vast is a colossal understatement, that it has played in our way of life. I want to tell you a staggering statistic that I came across recently. It's absolutely going to blow your mind. According to Dr. Adam Atler, the average American is going to spend right now, if they continue along the trends that we're all going down, the average American is going to spend 20 years of their lives on their phone. Holy moly. This right here is a graphic of the average American 18-year-old. And the people who made this graphic said that if the average 18-year-old American expects to live to 90 years old, this is a breakdown of how they would spend their time. So you can see that sleep takes about a third of our lives. We know this. For those who struggle with insomnia, like yours truly, maybe the levels there would be a little bit less. But we spend about a third of our lives generally sleeping. Work and school is about a little less than a fifth. Cooking and eating, as you can see, takes up a good amount of time. Driving even takes up a good amount of time. But again, look at that part right there at the bottom. Screen time. And the worst part about that is that we are sort of aware of it, but not really as aware of just how much time this takes from our lives and just how debilitating this really is. Yeah, we hear people talking about, effects of social media on the young, and there's some more commentary that's coming out about this. But today I really want to talk about and make clear to myself as much as to anybody watching that those of us in Gen Z, and I'm 24 years old, I was born in 1999, so I'm a member of Gen Z. Those of us in Gen Z especially are at a really pivotal moment right now in our lives, because we have been coming of age during this technology, social media, iPhone boom. It's so funny because, yes, I'm young, but I actually remember a time before the iPhone. I feel like I'm picturing myself in a few years talking to my kids about this, about the time before the iPhone. Sean, I don't mean to be impertinent and share your age with the audience without your consent, but you probably remember a time before the TV, the airplane. I'm just kidding. Oh, you remember even more.
I was offended for a split second. For a split second, I was like, "Oh, how dare she!"
What was it like
TV.
being in a stagecoach? What was it like riding on horseback?
Listen, I did exist pre-internet and pre-cell phone, pre-flip phone, pre-pager.
Pre-pager. See, I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't even know what a pager is. I mean, sort of.
Yeah.
I understand it's some device that would allow you to page people. I don't know. But what you just said is so interesting. You remember a time before the internet. That, to me, is dinosaur age. But this is...
you had to go to the library, or you had to look in the encyclopedia. Or you had to ask somebody.
Not Encyclopedia Britannica, like the real encyclopedia. But this is so important, because this proves the entire point that I hope to share with you today. And it's that we don't always take stock of the time and place that we're in history. We don't kind of tend to step outside of ourselves and really look around and be more aware of what it is that we're experiencing in real time. And so we've got to wise up and realize that we are the guinea pigs in the midst of a crazy and spectacularly awesome, but spectacularly terrifying technological boom. You know, for thousands of years, human beings lived the same way. Think about it. Generations after generations after generations lived no differently than their parents or their grandparents or their great-grandparents. And that was the case for a really long time. And then, you know, things started to come around. The printing press, for instance, I mean, that was only 500, 600 years ago. Before that, great swaths of people, the vast majority of the world population, couldn't read. Not only did they not own a book, I mean, literally books did not exist. They couldn't read. And so then we got the printing press. Things were chugging along. Obviously, I'm giving a very Spark Notes version here of, you know, the history of the world. But we were kind of chugging along, got the printing press, chugging along, electricity comes along, you know, things are starting to evolve, the light bulb, all this stuff that we read about. But then we get up to about the 20th century. And the pace, if we could do a graph, you know, sort of like this. And then with the printing press and electricity, it went like this. We in the 20th century are now at a time where it's gone airplane, car, internet, antibiotics, social media, iPhone, computer, and now we're in AI. I mean, we've got to realize what we're in. Get a load of this. Facebook was only founded 20 years ago, in 2004. Looking down at my notes. Twitter was only founded in 2006. We haven't even had Twitter for 20 years. Instagram in 2010. Yours truly remembers I was 11 or 12 years old when I got my Instagram. And it was so different. I think later in the show, I'm going to show a picture. I think we have this picture of what old Instagram used to look like. And can we put it up right now? Do you guys remember this? I remember this when I was 12, when Instagram looked like this. And it was so cool to get on there and, you know, to connect with your friends and what your username was going to be and what your profile picture was going to be. And we were 12 years old. We didn't realize that we were in the midst of a crazy revolution. See, in history classes, we sit down and we learn about the American Revolution. We learn about the Haitian Revolution. We learn about all these damn revolutions. We're in the middle of a revolution right now. But it's not just social media. Social media is perhaps the biggest part of it, but as I've been saying, we're in the midst of a much broader technological boom. Postmates. Think about all these different ways that we live our lives. Food delivery services are incredibly new. You used to have, you know, takeout guys. You'd call your favorite Chinese restaurant, put in your order, and expect to wait an hour and a half for the courier to come bring your food. I even remember those days as a 24-year-old. But Postmates was founded in 2011. Not even 15 years ago. Uber Eats, 10 years ago in 2014. That has drastically changed the way that we live, because Now we don't have to go out to get food if we don't want to. We can just order it on an app and get it at our doorstep without even seeing a human being. You have the option of just leave it at your doorstep delivery, so you don't even get to interact with the courier. How about something like Amazon or these general delivery services? If you needed Q-tips, you used to have to get in your car, drive to CVS, and buy your Q-tips.
Oh, there was no CVS.
Really? Oh,
No.
yeah. Wasn't it called Save On?
Save On or
Yeah.
Thrifties. Yeah.
Gosh, I feel old because I
Drug
even...
Emporium. Okay.
That's a new one to me. When I went to the East Coast for the first time when I was a kid, I would see Dwayne Reed. I go, what's Dwayne Reed? Where's Save On, CVS? It's so fun to go and see the names of those other drugstores. But you take my point. If you wanted Q-tips, or you wanted to get your grandma a birthday card, or you wanted, pistachios as a snack, you had to go get in your car, drive to CVS, go buy them. And then to even take it more steps further, you had to go check out. I remember the day before kiosks. Now, even when you go to those stores, you can go in, never interact with a human being, get what you need, and go check out at the kiosk. You used to have to go up to the front and check out with a real human being. Let me promise you something. In 5 to 10 years, we still have real human beings in grocery stores and at CVS. 5 to 10 years from now, we won't. But you take my point. You used to have to go to these places. Amazon was only founded 30 years ago right now, in 1994. That has vastly revolutionized the way that we live our lives. How about streaming services? When you used to want to watch a movie, you had to get in your car and you had to go to a movie theater. Now we can just sit on our computers, log on, and see it right there. Hulu, for instance, only founded in 2007. Netflix was is a little older than Hulu, 10 years older. It was founded in 1997. I'll give a final example. Dating apps. If you wanted a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or these days, maybe you just call them a they friend, I don't know. If you wanted a partner, you used to have to get out there, put yourself out there, and meet some people and ask some people out. Hinge, 2011. Bumble, 2014. This is so recent in how vastly it has transformed the way that we live.
Two things.
Yep.
One, Netflix started as a male DVD service.
I know, is that crazy?
DVD service. And somebody in the chat is asking about when video games were invented. I'm not an expert, but
Yeah,
I think
don't know.
they had very rudimentary games, and then like in the 70s, that's when Pong and
Right.
they had arcade games, and then in the late 80s, that's when the home console came out. So there. Just
See,
to
even
help
when
out
you
with
say
the chat.
home console, I'm like, that seems like
okay.
old, ancient history to me. But it shows you the rapidity with which all of this is being transformed. Because something like a what was it?
Home console?
Home console. I just
You
forgot
used to have to go to the
momentarily.
arcade,
See,
and then they
I
came
forgot
out
what
with
it was.
the box you could
Home
have in your
console.
house.
That sounds like ancient history, and it was only 10 years ago. Shows you how quickly all of this is changing. That something 10 years ago sounds like ancient history. But here's the point of this whole episode, and something that I have really tried to be more aware of. As technology has changed, the way that we live has changed. And as the way that we have lived has changed, our personalities have changed. We as human beings have been transformed alongside all of these other things. Think about even the way that we have fun nowadays. When kids like me were little, before Instagram was founded, we used to play soccer. We used to, go out and have recess. And obviously kids today still, to my knowledge, have recess. But this, what you're about to see, is really more so how my generation has fun.
Wait.
Renegade, renegade, renegade.
Go. Got one. Go. Go. Oh.
Okay, you guys didn't see me off air, but I was doing the dance. I was doing it alongside them, okay? You know why? Because I did the damn Renegade when I was in college.
No, play it again, Aleo, just the music so she can dance. Yeah, do it.
Dear.
Do it.
I don't remember the first part. Okay, fine. Okay, hold on. I need to see them. Wait. Oh, yes.
Go back to Julie.
I did it. I knew how to do it. I would go with my friends. Oh, God. We talk about so much on this show. We've done shows on the 1979 revolution in Iran, the color revolutions in Ukraine, FBI, CIA agents, Trump indictments, and then I just did the Renegade. We're adding that one to the list of the timeless archive. But my friends, we would go, there's a video, I should have resurrected the video of us in college. We would go in the bathroom and take out our phones and do the Renegade. And you know what? It was super fun. I'm not here to totally slimeball social media. As technology changes, as I said, the way we live changes, our personalities change, and not all of it is bad. It's not all a horrible thing that we're finding fun in the Renegade. But we also need to realize that there's another side of this coin. And we've got to keep this technology and social media in its proper place. We can have fun with it, but we all know how bad it's gotten.
Stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just
These are TikToks of people talking about how depressed they are. Oh, gosh. All right, we know, we get it. Okay, we're depressed.
Please make it stop, please.
But this, so here's what's interesting. You are enough, Sean, if I may speak for you, removed from this that you probably don't understand how widespread this is. This is...
No, I'm old school. I keep my depression to myself.
I like that. Yeah. Some people, very few people now do that, especially in my generation. But we've talked about this. It's now cool to broadcast your depression. It's now cool to broadcast if you have ADHD or Tourette's or something. It's become a fad. And, I think that a lot of people who aren't in my generation look at videos like that, or they look at videos of, and I think we have one of these of that girl that went viral complaining about her job. And I think that you guys, you old people, if I may say so with love and respect, tend to look at what you just saw and go, oh, kids these days are so spoiled. They're so, FOS. You can understand what the acronym means. Took Sean a minute. But you know what? I'm in this and I look at that and I have a lot of sympathy for those people, because it is a really hard thing to be young and to be in the midst of this technological revolution and have all of these influences coming at you. I mean, I'm pretty good for people my age because I've worked really, really hard to get off of my phone, but I even still fall down the trap. I even still find myself scrolling. This morning when I woke up, what did I do? I went to my phone, I checked my email, and then I start mindlessly scrolling on Instagram. It's really hard to have the strength of character to resist these influences. And it's really hard to resist these influences when so many people around you aren't wising you up to the fact that this is deadening. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to wise myself up and hopefully in turn wise up a lot of other people, because collectively we've got to wake up to this, because this is, as we saw with the first graphic, this is our lives that we're talking about. We cannot let our lives be taken by this crap. So let's go back and let's consider, what was all of this, social media, food delivery services, computers, sites like Amazon. what was all of this intended to do? Because then once we figure out, okay, what was this supposed to do? How is this supposed to elevate our lives? We can put technology in its proper place and go, okay, this is where it's elevating my life. This is where it's getting me into the realm of dyeing my hair blue and saying that I'm non-binary. Let's see what the line here is. I have these videos. It was so fun, you guys, to go into the archives of the internet and find these. I have videos of what people in the 60s, 70s, and 80s who were creating this technology or who were witnessing this technology being created. I have videos of what they said about it. And you'll hear that what they're talking about time after time is that this technology was supposed to make our lives more efficient, supposed to make us more connected to each other, not more atrophied or further away. It was supposed to sort of mitigate, I stumbled there. Either one works, actually. It was supposed to minimize or mitigate the more laborious tasks in life so that we had more free time to live. But now that we have more free time to live, ironically, we're wasting all of our time not living. So let's look at this. This is just so cool to see. This is someone in 1964 talking about how one day we will get to a place where maybe we could work remotely.
The communications satellite. These things will make possible a world in which we can be in instant contact with each other, wherever we may be, where we can contact our friends anywhere on Earth, even if we don't know their actual physical location. It will be possible in that age, perhaps only 50 years from now, for a man to conduct his business from Tahiti or Bali just as well as he could from London.
That was 60 years ago. That was in 1964. It's 2024.
Why not a woman conduct her business?
It's so, Sean, thank you so much for pointing that out. We should be like Meghan Markle and write a note to that guy and say, whoa, wait a minute. Women can conduct their business, not just men. God, the patriarchy. You're so right. Anyway. No, but seriously, isn't that incredible? That was 60 years ago. 60. And we take that for granted now. We take for granted that we can work from wherever we choose to work from, or that we can be in instant contact with someone who's thousands of miles away from us. We take that as a total granted in life. But we don't understand the work that it took to get us to that place. We don't understand how quickly we got to that place. And right now that we're in the middle of it, we're not wised up to the downsides. Let's look at another video. This is from 10 years later, so 50 years ago, in 1974. And this guy is going, one day you'll be able to have a computer that will be able to do all sorts of things.
I brought along my son Jonathan, who in the year 2001 will be the same age as I am now. Maybe he will be better adjusted to this kind of world that you're trying to portray.
The big difference
That
when he
kid
grows
is
up, in fact,
50
if we wanted
now.
to wait for the year 2001, is that he will have in his own house, not a computer as big as this, but at least a console through which he can talk to his friendly local computer and get all the information he needs for his everyday life, like his bank statements, his theater reservations, all the information you need in the course of living in a complex modern society. This will be in a compact form in his own house.
I was just quickly writing down all of the things that he rattled off in that video. He said, you'll be able to talk to anyone from far away. You'll have all the information that you'll need in this one console. To make your theater reservations. He didn't even anticipate, and how could he, obviously, that we wouldn't be making theater reservations anymore. We would have the theater on that computer. And then he talks about your bank statements. Like, we have to realize how differently things used to be. And I know there are people who listen to the show of all ages, which I love, and that's exactly what this show is intended for. But I can see some of you in the chat remember these days. I can see some of you in the chat are like me, and you look at that as if it was 1,000 years ago. But we're all in our different stages in the middle of this great boom. Oh God, this next video, gosh. This is so fun. This is from 1989. And it was a talk show where the host considered what homes would look like in the year 2020.
What are going to be the biggest changes in our homes by 2020? Will the house of the future protect the environment? And what new technology do researchers think we'll be living with? Well, we've been talking to some of the people who've been thinking about the home of the future. Christine McNulty. So the idea is, once all the clutter of technology has gone, you'll be able to furnish your rooms in any style you like. You won't actually be able to see the technology, but it will be there, doing its job without getting in your way.
That means the lights automatically switch off and on as you walk between rooms. And the home learns how bright you like them. A simple command gives you music, perhaps piped in from a sound library. Bark, please. And no more PowerPoints.
It's Alexa.
Plugs become pads, picking up power from anywhere on the wall.
So he was a little off on the whole hairdryer thing. I'm not really sure what that is. I'd love to know if that exists. That'd be very cool to, when I do my hair before the show, just plug it in right here and do it in my chair. So look, he was a little wrong on some things, but he was just predicting Alexa. And what amazes me about these videos is not just the accurate predictions that they're making, but the awe with which they're making them. They're so energized by the fact that one day you could have your music play when at your direction and instruction. We are in an amazing moment, people. We're in an amazing moment, and we need to be clear about how amazing it is, and we also need to be clear about where it's taking us wrong. But we should be so grateful for all of the abundance that we have around us. It is a staggering amount of abundance. I mean, I was just giving you the Spark Notes Julie version of the history of the world. For a lot of the history of the world, think about if you wanted to listen to music. You had to go to a concert, or you had to know someone who had an instrument and who knew how to play it. We take so much for granted. We now, at our disposal, we can go online and listen to basically any song that has ever been created or toyed with being created in the history of human civilization. We can read any book, any scribble that has ever been written. We can look up our favorite historical figure. We can look up Abraham Lincoln, and we can go to some archives of all of the digitized manuscripts of the Post-it notes. And obviously Lincoln didn't have Post-it notes, but his version, antebellum era Post-it notes, that we can see what Lincoln wrote. We have an amazing amount of stuff at our disposal, and we take it for granted. We don't realize how lucky we are, and we let it deaden us. Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. I pulled so many of these. This was hours and hours of internet searching. You want to see Jeff Bezos before he had some years on him? This is a video of Jeff Bezos in June of 1997 being interviewed about his recently founded company, Amazon. And you'll hear, it's actually very much goes in line with what I just said, that this was created, Amazon, to allow people to have any book they want at their doorstep or to listen to any song that they want at their disposal.
Hi there, who are you?
I'm Jeff Bezos.
And what is your claim to fame?
I'm the founder of Amazon.com.
Where did you get an idea for Amazon.com?
Well, 3 years ago, I was in New York City working for a quantitative hedge fund when I came across the startling statistic that web usage was growing at 2,300% a year. So I decided I would try and find a business plan that made sense in the context of that growth. and I picked books as the first best product to sell online, after making a list of like 20 different products that you might be able to sell. And books were great as the first best, because books are incredibly unusual in one respect, and that is that there are more items in the book category than there are items in any other category by far. Music is number 2. There are about 200,000 active music CDs at any given time. But in the book space, there are more than 3 million different books worldwide active and in print at any given time across all languages, more than 1.5 million in English alone. So when you have that many items, you can literally build a store online that couldn't exist any other way.
So here we really have the world at our fingertips. And he in that video was just thinking books, and that's what Amazon was for some time, just as Netflix was, would you say it was only DVDs in the beginning of its founding? And then all of these companies, I think, amazed themselves with how much they grew. But now we've got all this abundance, and yet.
Stay up all night, tell
God.
myself
Oh, please, no. Oh, please make it stop.
Okay, but seriously, I actually have sympathy. I really do. I have sympathy. What is that? Oh, that's still part of the video. I have sympathy. I'm going to say something a little sacrilege. I even have a little bit of sympathy for this girl.
My first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person, and I'm commuting in the city, and it takes me fucking forever to get there. There's no way I'm gonna be able to afford living in the city right now, so that's off the table. Like, duh! If I was able to walk to work, and it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like, I leave here, like, I get on the train at 7:30, and I don't get home till, like, 6:15 earliest, and then, like, I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. Like, I don't have energy to work out.
I actually take it back. I don't have any sympathy.
I'm so upset. Oh my God.
I humbly retract my
job
statement
just, like,
about having sympathy for her. But you know, you get the broader point. People my age, we're thrown in the middle of this ocean, and we don't know how to make use of it, and we don't have the best role models. That girl's got to get a big reality check. But you know what's fascinating to me? It's not even so much what she's saying. It's that she went on TikTok to broadcast her malaise. That shows you what this stuff is doing to us. We think that our disappointments in life, the things that we're struggling with, are things to be trumpeted. That's the best way to deal with, because everybody goes through that. You know, everybody goes through, oh my God, life is hard, dude. Commuting is hard. Working is hard. And my generation, because we've grown up in this era, we literally have been wired and brainwashed to think that there is something special and different about normal life, and that when we have struggles in normal life, the appropriate mechanism of how to do it is to broadcast it. And so that is where a few grains of my sympathy do come in, because I think that this girl, among others, is just like, she's just trying her best to navigate this with all the influences around her that have pushed her into that direction. Now, I am the biggest proponent, as many of you listeners of this show know, of human agency. You know, you've got to wise up, you've got to grow up, you've got to stop complaining, get off of social media, make a living, and realize that life is hard, and life is hard for everyone. But it's not easy navigating these turbulent waters. Look at the old Instagram format again. When that girl was 12, we're probably the same, I would imagine she's my age, 24. This is what Instagram looked like for us. We were growing up, having our minds be molded during the molding of these technologies. Now I'm going to show you, not that I need to, because literally everyone knows this. This is what Instagram looks like now. I pull up my Instagram. You can shop on Instagram. You weren't able to shop on old Instagram. We have mindless sludge being funneled at us on our Explore page. Our Explore page used to be only accounts that were adjacent to the ones that we followed. Now we have this whole algorithm funded by the Chinese Communist Party, thank you very much, in the case of TikTok. So we have foreign agents pulling the strings. Now we have this whole algorithm that is pushing this sludge at us. And I'm a big human agency girl, but it's a really damn hard to have human agency when your brain was being molded and shaped during this time. I'll just show you 2 videos. Not that you don't know them. You know them. This is what popped up on my Instagram this morning. Look how satisfying and mesmerizing that is. I'm becoming hypnotized. All right, we got to cut it because I'm going to get truly hypnotized. That's the whole point. That's what they're trying to do to you. Look at that vibey music, you know, it's kind of, it's really fun. And then they have dough is very sensual, and they have, it's satisfying. It's fast pacing. They have the cutting of the dough, and then they have the molding, and you're just watching there, you know, becoming dead. And no wonder the Chinese Communist Party is behind this, and then they're banning it in their own damn country. They know exactly what they're doing to us. And that's not even the crazy gender and political radicalism videos that I could show you. That's just making us dumber. Here's another video. See, I'm not wagging the finger. I'm trying to shirk these influences myself. This was another thing I watched this morning, and I gotta tell you, it's pretty mesmerizing.
She's a big boy.
So great. I got to admit, it's so great, but it's so bad. We got to get off. I've done an episode here, which you can check out, on how I deleted my personal social media after college. And then I happened to enter a job where perhaps the most important thing for me is social media. But you all know from following me how I take that. And I really did go through this period, and this is why I feel equipped to talk about this with you, where after I deleted my personal social media when I graduated, I spent that summer and many of the months after just reading and walking around and looking at gorgeous trees and going to museums and looking at art. And so much of the show, when I come to you and I'm talking to you about why Jane Eyre is such a fantastic book, or The Scarlet Letter is such a fantastic book, or, you know, Man's Search for Meaning, Orthodoxy. Think about the books I've profiled on this show, or the shows that we've done on art. I was looking through some of our archives. We did a show on Christmas art. We compared old classical nativity scenes to modern nativity scenes. All of that stuff was really a result of me getting off this damn thing, deleting my social media, and trying so hard to change my habits and taking it seriously. And it opened up so much in my life. If there's anything I try to do, it's just to share some of that bliss with you, because it is bliss. And I feel sad. I feel sad for our generation. I feel sad for the world, because if only more people were talking about this, if only more people were really setting us straight about how we can use this technology to order great books, to listen to great music, to enrich our lives. But at a certain point, we've got to curb it. In addition to those videos that you saw of people predicting what technology would come in the 21st century, there were people who also predicted what would happen to the human race as a result of technology. Here are some British school children from, 1966, so less than 60 years ago. And they were asked, what do you think the world is going to be like in the year 2000?
I think it'll be very dull, and people would all be squashed together so much there won't be any fun or anything.
I don't think it's going to be so nice. I think sort of all machines everywhere, everyone doing everything for you. You know, you'll get all bored, and I don't think it'll be so nice.
I think it's going to be very boring.
and everything will be the same. I mean, people will be the same and things will be the same.
They saw it. They saw it, but we don't see it. Someone's writing in the chat about one of the Communist Party's checklists from the 1960s was to depress us. Yes, I encourage you to check out my timeless episode on Yuri Bezmenov, who was the KGB defector in the 20th century. And he exposed the 4 steps that the Soviet Union outlined to ideologically subvert the United States. And those adjectives are so damn eerie. They have a whole column where they go ignorance, disunity, uninformed myopia. Sean and I debated whether it's myopia or myopia. Depression. We have to realize that, yes, part of this is homegrown, but there are also some people who care very much to see the demise of the United States and see the deadening of young, impressionable minds. And I will be damned if I let that happen to me or to my country. They're not going to succeed at that if I have anything to do with it. So what do we do with it? What do we do? How it feels like we are sort of in the middle of this ocean. And so what are some practical things that we can actually, practical steps that we can actually undertake to try to resist this? Well, I'll tell you from personal experience some of the things that I've been trying, keyword trying, to do. I don't always follow it because it's so easy to just do everything on here. But when I want a book nowadays, I try to get in my car and drive to a bookstore. And I try to go up to the, can we cut to Sean? Sean's going, whoa, you primitive little being, you, going to a bookstore. Yeah, they still exist. They're dwindling, but they do. And you know what I do? The other day I was in Hollywood at an old classical movie bookstore. And I went in and I just browsed and I take this damn thing and I put it in my purse and I tell myself, you're not going to look at it for this whole time in the bookstore. And I just give myself the freedom to walk around and browse. And I went to the front of the store to the person behind the desk and I said, can you point me to some of your favorites? What are some of the good books in here? I'm engineering human interaction for myself. We are now at the point where we have to do that. When I was at Whole Foods the other day buying my absurdly overpriced food, thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, student loan forgiveness. I didn't go to the kiosks. I went and I waited in line and I checked out with a real human being. And as I was waiting in line and as I was looking over with lust at the kiosk that would make my life so much more efficient, I stood there and I said, Julie, you need to learn the skill of waiting in line and not being on your phone and just daydreaming. Reteach yourself how to daydream. Do that. When I want food now and I'm working and I got a call and I go, oh God, I don't have time to get dinner. I will starve. I will not use Postmates. I will not use Uber Eats. I will really, really try to go to the grocery store. Dating. I'm off of the dating apps, people. They're bad. We could do a whole show on that, of the kind of sludge that we're seeing on the dating apps. The good news, as I said the other day on a Timeless show where we talked about that loneliness article in the Wall Street Journal, where a third of Americans who have gym memberships, for instance, say that they are joining the gym to meet people. The good news is that we're all in this together. And the good news is that a lot of us want out of it. So it's not weird to talk to someone at the bookstore. It's not weird to talk to someone in line at Whole Foods. It's not weird to talk to someone at the gym. Let's dispel this myth that it's weird to talk to human beings. We all want it. The data corroborates that we all want it. So let's, get off our high horses and shirk our ego and actually go out and take advantage of this great life that we are blessed enough to be in. And I'll end, before I'll end, I'll tell you about my pillow, but I'll end with a story that all of us should know that predicted thousands of years ago this moment that we're in now. But as I said, nothing is more important right now than telling you about my pillow, because my gosh, I use a lot of my pillow products. Yeah, I may scroll all the time, but I also sleep on a my pillow when I'm scrolling. I sleep on the Giza Dream bed sheets. I use my towels and I wear my slippers. And you can get a lot of these products at a massive discount right now if you use the promo code Hartman or call 1-800-566-6745 today. They are having a $25 extravaganza, which is just what it sounds like. You can get 2-pack multi-use My Pillows for just $25, My Pillow sandals for $25, 6-pack towel sets for $25, brand new 4-pack dish towels for, you guessed it, just $25. And for the first time ever, the premium My Pillows with all new Giza fabric for just $25. Orders over $75 will receive free shipping. So go to mypillow.com or call 1-800-566-6745 today and use the promo code Hartman. Okay, finally, because I did spend so much of my time and continue to do off of my phone, and because I was lucky enough to read great books and discover great art and open myself and my life up to all of the splendor and wisdom we have out there, I want to share this with you. This is a painting of the Tower of Babel by Bruegel, who I believe we've done a show on. We've probably done a show on Bruegel, and if we haven't, then we suck. We need to do a show on Bruegel. I love this story because this story predicted and also provided the way out of so much of what we're in right now. And that's the great thing about the Bible. I've talked about how I'm not quite sure where I stand religiously. I would call myself an ethical monotheist. I don't know if I'm Jewish. I don't know if I'm Christian, but I just know right now that I very much believe in God. And I certainly know that the Bible is a divine life manual, as I call it. God is a divine life coach, and the Bible, I am telling you, is a divine life manual. Story after story after story, we see timeless, to use a good term. I was wondering what term I should use. We see timeless insights into the human existence, into human nature. And even though this was written thousands of years ago, it provides amazing instruction for the crazy new things that we're in now. And so in this story, people after the flood, who all spoke one language, they all came together and said, why don't we build a tower to heaven? Why don't we come together and build and build and build to make a name for ourselves? That was their thing that they wanted. They wanted to build to make a name for themselves, to make money, to get glory, perhaps to be more efficient, you know. Getting to heaven via a tower is a pretty efficient way to get to heaven. But God, our divine life coach, saw that this was not good. Saw that when people come together in pursuit of building for the sake of building to make a name for themselves without a clear direction, it's not good for humanity. And so what did God do? He dispersed them and he confounded their language so that many different people have now different languages to speak. Now, people look at this story in the modern day and they go, oh, it's an ancient tale about why we have different languages. Yes, in some ways, but that is actually missing the entire point. The entire point of this story is a caution against technology, a caution of just building for the sake of building. And we're now in a territory, especially with AI, where people can get AI girlfriends, where you can really basically live online. John Moody has a great book about this. He has a trilogy series about the metaverse and living through virtual reality glasses. We've got to heed to the counsel outlined in the Bible thousands of years ago, that if we don't curb this in now, it's not going to be good for us. On that cheerful note, But it is cheerful because, you know, we're in a cool place. We got a lot of cool technology, but we've just got to apply the appropriate wisdom to make sure that we keep it cool and that we don't become blue-haired, non-binary metaverse people. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you too for your fantastic comments in the chat. I love the chat. I wish I could read it more on air, but I so appreciate your being here. And as always, you know, you can email me at julie@julie-hartman.com. I love hearing from you, and let's do this together. Let's elevate ourselves and shirk our bad habits together. But first, let's hear from Sean.
No, I need more screen time. I'm going to set up a screen so that it's scrolling through TikTok videos while I sleep. so I can do 2 at once. So
we're getting there.
Screen time while I sleep. And before we go, Julie, could we please dance one more time?
Oh my God. Okay, fine.
Please.
I want to see how much I can remember it. Let's see how much I can remember it.
All right.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And then there's, hold on. I remember this. I hear someone cackling in there. You deserve to cackle at me after that. Bye everyone. So great to be with you. See you tomorrow.